This young man ended up getting into a beef with this other guy. They turned to ops. He made a big decision that was a bad decision. You know, he grabbed his gun, got in his car, and drove to this guy's house. It was a fight happening outside of the guy's house. Remember, these are two enemies, two ops. You know, the guy who drove to his house ended up pulling his gun out and killing the guy in front of his girlfriend and all kind of stuff. Police looking for him, all kind of shit. His daddy turned him in. He was only 18 years old. He was a teenager. He killed another teen. You know, his daddy turned him in. Look, the police looking for you, man. Look, I don't know if I can help you. It's shit going on. You shouldn't did this. They know you did it. It's people seen that you did it. Look, the most we can do is say it was self-defense and shit went bad, but you gotta turn yourself in. It's a lot of people that's kind of confused about daddy turned him in. What kind of daddy is this that walk him in a police station knowing he ain't never gonna come home again? They fuck around and put poison in his arm. His dad a mark. Why would he do some shit like that? There's some people say, look, that dad recognized that this young man needs to turn himself in and it's the best opportunity for maybe he can come home 20, 30 years from now or some shit like that. You know, instead of me breaking it down to you, because it's a lot of twists and turns. This happened the other day. You know, y'all check out this story.
Now to a community just shattered by the murder of a young man, and police say the suspected shooter was actually turned in by his own father. West 2's David Jones is live in the studio with us tonight. David, this is so sad. For the first time, we're seeing pictures of the victim, and then you spoke to neighbors who say they're just heartbroken over this.
Yeah, Nancy, this is Dante Copeland. He was just 20 years old. Neighbors say his girlfriend was by his side when he was shot and killed. She was too shaken up to speak, but neighbors describe Copeland as a kind and respectful young man, his accused killer, now sitting in the Lake County Jail.
Life was just beginning for him, and also for the guy that took his life.
One life gone, another could be spent behind bars.
It's a shame the way it happened, you know.
It happened in the Carver Heights neighborhood, Tuskegee Street. A memorial now lies where 20-year-old Dante Copeland was killed.
Heard a little scuffling over there, and next thing we know, pop, pop, pop.
And I was, shocked because the last shot went off. I realized it was not no fireworks. It was actually gunshots.
Arista Russell lives next door. She says she was in the garage and was alerted to the shooting by a group of elementary kids who had witnessed it.
And when I went around to the back, the girlfriend was crying and yelling, was like asking me, could I call the police?
This is one of the biggest mistakes he made. You can't get that angry to the point where you go to somebody's house and do this kind of damage, do this kind of thunderstorm with everybody outside watching. You know, probably got your phone in your pocket because it's spur of the moment. You know, man come outside, you do this to him in front of his crib, in front of his girl. Did you think you was gonna get away? See, we gotta be able to control our emotions. Shit like this will fuck around now. You gone for 30 calendars.
Russell says she called 911 and tried to render aid.
I see the boy trying to stand up that got shot over there, but he fell back down again.
Because I've witnessed death before, but not in that state where it was from a tragedy like that, and it was actually sad.
Police came. Copeland was taken to UF Health Leesburg, where he was pronounced dead.
I ain't nobody promised tomorrow. I don't care who he is.
The shooting happened after a brief fight with 18-year-old Cameron Picard from Mount Dora. Picard's dad would later bring him to the police department while detectives were still on scene. He's been booked with premeditated murder, a capital felony, and conspiracy.
Think before you even take actions into your hands, because you never know. It could be you going to prison or losing your life.
A lot of people feel like dad was wrong for this. You know, this is a touchy situation. The son is young. Could have been self-defense, even though he came to his crib with a gun, was ready to do this shit, and it feel like it was premeditated. Sometimes you gotta just let a jury play this out. Maybe dad felt like, look, it's best for you to turn yourself in for one of these cops kill you. You know, ain't nobody can help you do, you know. This not no movie where a motherfucker finna move you to a different country and you finna survive. Look, buddy, you fucked up. Some people feel like this dad should be ashamed of himself for just giving their son to the system. I want to know what y'all think. Leave a comment, because I think this is a strong message, and I think a lot of people can learn from it.